NFL fans, welcome back to a brand new episode of the J All Day Sports Show. In today's episode, we're going to go over my Week 18 predictions with scores for all the games on this Week 18 slate. The final regular season week of the NFL season brings a tear to my eyes, guys. I've had so much fun breaking down these games with you this season. Remember, there are only a few teams actually that won't be playing their starters at all. The others will kind of mix it up a little bit, probably play some starters half the game. It's going to be a mess from a betting perspective. You can look at some of the lines right now and you can tell who's going to be playing their starters, who's not going to be playing their starters. So be careful with your bets. Here we go. Week 18 predictions with scores. All right, guys, before we get started, I just want to go over last week's result. We absolutely crushed it. 13-3 in week 17. And for the last 8 weeks, we're 99-34. That is 74%. Absolutely crushing it. And for the season, guys, we are 173-82. That's why you got to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. All right, NFL fans, we're going to start off this week with an interesting game. Baltimore Ravens at home versus the Cleveland Browns. So, if the Baltimore Ravens win, they clinch the AFC North. So I'm expecting for the starters to at least play the first 2 quarters, maybe into the third quarter, depending on the score of this game. The line's huge at minus 17.5 with an over-under only at 41. So obviously I'm going with the Ravens in this spot. It's a must-win spot for them this week. So, for the score I think it's going to be a little bit closer final score because some of the starters may come out. So, I'm saying 30-23, the Baltimore Ravens get this done. And then we'll see where they go in the playoffs, guys. Very interesting. I look for the Ravens to lock up the AFC North on Sunday. Next up, another great AFC North matchup. Cincinnati Bengals, Pittsburgh Steelers. So, the Cincinnati Bengals have to win to hold on to a very slim chance of making the playoffs. They need a lot to happen. They need the Broncos to lose to Kansas City, and they need the Dolphins to lose as well. I do think they win this game, though. Vegas agrees with the minus 1.5 spread. I think it's a close game. I'm going 27-23. Cincinnati Bengals get it done. Joe Burrow has been on fire. I expect him to score some points. And this Pittsburgh Steelers defense is not as good as some people may think, and they haven't been really playing great football the last 4 or 5 weeks, guys. I'm going with the Bengals 27-23. Giants, Eagles. Nick Sirianni just came out and said that Saquon Barkley will be sitting in this game. So will pretty much the majority of the starters in this spot. The Eagles are still favorites, but I'm going with the Giants to win this game 26-24. None of the Eagles starters are going to be playing. It's going to be third and fourth string guys on their roster. The other half of this roster, probably the bottom 25 of these players will be playing in this spot. I hope Tanner McKee gets the start, actually. I would love for the Eagles to win, but I think the Giants get it done 26-24 because I think Malik Neighbors and company are still going to play in this spot. That's why I like the Giants in this game, but I'm not going to put any juice on this game at all whatsoever. Next up, Chicago Bears or the Packers. There's not a lot on the line for the Packers. They can bump up 1 seed in the seeding. They can go from 7 to 6 if the Commanders lose and they win, but the Bears are so bad. I think the Packers win in dominant fashion. I'm saying 34-16. The Packers get it done at home in Lambeau. The Bears have nothing to play for. They're kind of phoning it in at this point. They've lost like 50 million games in a row, guys. Maybe next year, Caleb Williams will get a good coach and be able to play like he did in college because he's looked horrendous so far this year. Keenan Allen's a free agent at the end of the year. I look for the Packers to win in dominant fashion, guys. New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For the Buccaneers, win, and they are in for the playoffs, right? But if they lose and Atlanta wins, Atlanta can sneak in there and steal that spot. Saints, Buccaneers, who wins? The line is huge at minus 13.5. And Baker Mayfield's been playing great. He's going to drop some points in this. I'm saying 35-20. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers win this game, crush the Saints at home. The Buccaneers got to win this game, guys. They're going to be coming for heads. And the Saints just haven't been a good football team this second half of the year. Pretty much the whole year, actually. But Baker Mayfield has the boys playing good. That connection with Mike Evans is real, guys. And I do love myself some Bucky Irving as well. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get it done. Bills, Patriots. The Bills are sitting all of their starters in this spot. They've locked up the number 2 seed. They can't gain anything in this game. So, where do you go? I'm going with the Patriots and Drake May to steal one in a close game, 24-23. The Bills are second string guys, are probably better than the Patriots number ones in actuality, but I think it's going to be more like third and fourth string guys, so I'm going with the Patriots in a close one, 24-23. Next up, Commanders at Cowboys. The Commanders can lock up the 6th seed with the win, so they need to get a W here over the Cowboys, who I think are just like, they got their asses kicked by my Philadelphia Eagles last week. They gave up a 40-burger. Woo, baby, they are at home in Jerry's World, but Jaden Daniels has been balling out the last few weeks. He's looked absolutely incredible. The Commanders dominate this game 30-17. I love Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. I think they come out looking for scalps and crush the Cowboys, guys. Next up, Panthers at the Falcons. Michael Penix Jr. battled with Jaden Daniels last week. That was one of the best games of the year. 8-point spread is a little high in my opinion. I think the Falcons win this game, but I think it's a little closer than people think. I think it's going to be low scoring. I'm going 2017. Atlanta Falcons get a home win here, guys. We'll have to see. They'll have to be scoreboard watching on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to see who will be representing the NFC South. Man, if the Falcons didn't have that terrible stretch in the middle where Kirk Cousins was playing like absolute ass cheeks, Atlanta might win that division pretty easily, man, but Kirk Cousins sucked. They probably should have went to Michael Penix Jr. a little bit earlier. He's looked great. Throws that great deep ball. They got really solid weapons, too. A pretty good offensive line. Their pass rush kind of sucks in Atlanta, so I'm going to go with the Falcons to win that game 2017. Faux show! Texans, Titans. Who wins this game? The Texans already locked up the 4 seed, right? But from what I'm reading, they're going to be playing their starters. Maybe they only play them half the game for a quarter just to get a feel. So I'm going to go, you know what? I was going to go with the Titans, but no, I'm going to stick with the Texans to maybe get out to a little bit of an early lead, win a close, low-scoring game, 17-14. The Texans get it done. I think the starters may play a couple quarters and then go to the bench because they don't have anything to play for. I don't know why they're playing at all, but I don't think DeMeco Ryans loves what he's seeing out of this offensive line, guys, so maybe he wants to get them some more juice before the playoffs and the games really matter. All right. We're going to go with the Houston Texans to win this game. What did I say? 17-14 in a close game. Jaguars, Colts. The Colts blew their playoff chances. I'm not sure yet who's playing. Is it going to be Anthony Richardson or is it going to be Joe Flacco? But either way, I think the Colts still win. I'm not a big fan of Mac Jones, even though he's played okay, taken over for Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. I expect Doug Peterson to get fired, but the Colts, what an embarrassment last week, giving up 40 points. 40 points to the Giants, who, I can't even talk, before that game didn't even win one game at home. Oh, man, Shane Steichen, what the hell, man. You crushed so many people's parlays last week, but I'm going to still roll with the Colts to win this game. I think it's going to be pretty close, maybe a little higher scoring than people think. 27-26. Colts get it done. Last second field goal, guys. Chiefs, Broncos. Chiefs are playing the bums. Broncos in a must-win spot. Win and they're in. Broncos are going to win. They're going to dominate this game. I'm saying 27-13. I'm not a big fan of Carson Wentz, especially with the bums playing, and their offensive line's already kind of beat up. It's going to be the third and fourth string guys who don't really offer much with this great Denver Broncos defense. The Broncos dominate all day long. Chargers. Raiders. I'm going with the Chargers in this spot. The Raiders, Aiden O'Connell and Brock Bowers have been okay the last couple weeks. But by this line, it looks like the Chargers are going to be playing their starters, guys. They're going to be playing their starters, even though they locked up a spot already in the playoffs. We'll see. It might only be a quarter or two, so it's going to be a pretty close game. I think it's going to be very low scoring. I'm going 17-16, and Chargers get it done in a pretty boring, lackluster game from an offensive perspective. Miami Dolphins, New York Jets. The Miami Dolphins in a must-win spot to keep their playoff hopes alive. They are hoping and praying that somehow they can squeak their way in to the playoffs. We'll have to see. The Broncos have to lose. So we'll see where Miami kind of fits into the spot. But the New York Jets are so bad. Aaron Rodgers, tarnished his career a little bit with this year, man. He's been a complete embarrassment. This Jets organization has been a complete embarrassment. It's been a shit show through and through. Any way you slice it, right? Joe Douglas got fired. Robert Saleh got fired. And somehow Aaron Rodgers is still dropping back, not completing passes. I'm going with the Miami Dolphins to win this game, score more points than people think. 30-20, the Dolphins crush the Jets. Seahawks, Rams. Rams have already locked up the 4 seed and winning their division. I think if they win, they could get to the number 3 seed. So a lot has to happen in order for the Rams to bump up to the 3 seed. But what's the difference between the 3 seed and the 4 seed? You're probably not getting another home game, in my opinion. So I think the starters barely play in this, maybe the first half. That's why the line for the Seahawks is -6.5. But I'm still going to go with the Rams to win this game 21-20 in a close game. Stay away from this game from a betting perspective. 49ers, Cardinals. Man, the 49ers balled out last week. On Monday Night Football, they really kept the Lions on their toes, man. The Lions' defense sucks. They're about to get torched by the Vikings. But we'll get to that in a second. 49ers win in dominant fashion. The Arizona Cardinals have been reeling since the bye. I think it was in week 11. They've been awful. The offense doesn't have an identity at all whatsoever, even though they got really good players, right? Persick, I think, is the offensive coordinator. He needs to get his ass fired. You're fired. You're fired. Trey McBride got his first touchdown in week 17. That's all I got to say about that. That is all I have to say about that. 49ers dominate this game 33-17. Next up is the game we are all looking forward to seeing. For the number 1 seed in the NFC, we got the Detroit Lions taking on the Minnesota Vikings in the Motor City. Detroit Lions, 2.5-point favorites. I like the Minnesota Vikings, dude. Listen, Brock Purdy and George Kittle and an 8th-string offensive line dominated from whistle to whistle the Detroit Lions defense, guys. What the hell is going on? What are the Vikings going to do? OMG. Jordan Addison, my man Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson's going to ball out. Sam Darnold throws for 4 touchdowns at least in this game, guys. I'm saying 38-30. Minnesota Vikings, woo! Cash in on the number 1 seed. And the Lions fall to the 5th seed, guys. Minnesota Vikings dominate this game. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Jay All Day show this season. It means a lot to me. Closing in on 13,000 subscribers. You guys are the best. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's go, Birds! I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you're interested in getting early access to my content, you just want to support me and the channel, or you want to get my bets every single Friday, make sure you check out my memberships. I have a 99-cent tier just to support the channel, and for $4.99 a month, you get early access to all my videos, a bunch of exclusive member content, like my bets each and every Friday. Make sure you take the time, check it out. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.